Before the sun rose over the dusty plains of Gedo, Somalia, the camp at El Adde lay quiet. Kenyan peacekeepers, stationed under the African Union mission, prepared for another long day of duty. They were hundreds of kilometers from home, but their mission was simple: to protect, to rebuild, and to bring calm where conflict had torn lives apart. It was a mission of peace in a land that had seen too little of it. As the first hints of dawn painted the horizon, the soldiers went about their morning routines: a quiet prayer, a shared cup of tea, a check of their equipment. There was a camaraderie in the air, a bond forged in the shared isolation of the Somali desert. They were brothers in arms, guardians of a fragile peace. None of them could have imagined how this particular morning, January 15th, 2016, would unfold, or how it would etch their names into the annals of courage. The silence was profound, but it was the silence before the storm. A little after 4 a.m., that stillness broke. A sudden massive blast echoed across the camp's edge, ripping through the quiet of the pre-dawn hours. This was no stray shot. It was the deafening announcement of a coordinated, large-scale assault, the first signal of an attack that would test every limit of human endurance and courage. Immediately, the air filled with dust and the frantic crackle of radio static. Officers shouted orders, their voices cutting through the confusion as soldiers scrambled from their tents and rushed to their defensive positions. The attackers came in force, a wave of heavily armed fighters emerging from the darkness, their advance spearheaded by vehicles packed with explosives. The impact of this initial strike was devastating, designed to create maximum chaos and collapse the camp's defenses. But the defenders, though shaken, held on. They reorganized under the immense pressure, their training kicking in, determined not to let fear take over. This was the moment they had trained for, a test of will against overwhelming odds. What followed were hours that felt like an eternity. As the dust from the first wave of attacks began to settle, another began. The roar of engines grew louder in the distance, signaling more vehicles speeding through the morning haze. The soldiers braced themselves, their communication reduced to short, calm bursts over the radio. "Hold your line. Reinforcements are on the way." It was more than just an order. It was a promise, a lifeline they clung to in the heart of the firefight. Amid the chaos, they relied on their training, on the muscle memory drilled into them over countless hours. But more than that, they relied on the trust built through months of shared hardship in a foreign land. They fought not just for themselves or for the flag flying over their camp, but for every brother beside them in the trenches. Each soldier became a link in a chain, and they were determined that the chain would not break. The battle raged, a symphony of relentless fire, but their resolve only hardened with each passing minute. As the morning stretched towards noon, the battle entered its most critical phase. A final and fiercest wave of attackers advanced from the eastern ridge. Clouds of dust kicked up by their vehicles rose high into the sky, blocking out the sun and casting a grim shadow over the besieged camp. Inside, the situation was dire. 2 platoons, just a few dozen men, were all that was left to make what seemed like an impossible final stand. Their ammunition was running dangerously low. The constant barrage had damaged their equipment, and communication with the outside world grew faint and sporadic. Yet, even as the odds stacked impossibly against them, their will to fight never faltered. They held their positions hour after grueling hour, their determination forged in the fire of the ongoing battle. Their objective was singular and absolute. The flag flying over the camp would not fall. 10 hours. 10 hours of unyielding endurance. 10 hours that would forever define what true bravery means in the face of annihilation. Then, by early afternoon, a new sound cut through the heavy air and the constant din of battle. The distinct, rhythmic thrum of approaching helicopter rotors. Reinforcement units had finally broken through and reached El Adde. For the exhausted survivors, it was a sound of profound relief, a symbol of hope arriving from the sky. It was also a moment of somber remembrance for the comrades who had fallen. The skies above the camp, which had been filled with smoke and the tracers of gunfire for hours, now carried the promise of salvation. Medical teams rushed in as soon as the helicopters landed, beginning the urgent work of tending to the wounded. Evacuations began, airlifting the survivors from the battlefield. Back home across Kenya, news of the attack spread slowly, bringing with it a wave of both deep sorrow for the losses and immense pride for the heroism displayed by their soldiers. The nation held its breath, united in grief and gratitude. The El Adde attack became one of the most difficult and defining moments in Kenya's modern peacekeeping history. Yet, even in the depths of such a tragedy, it revealed something deeper about the character of the nation and its people. It shone a light on the incredible resilience of those who serve the unity of the families and citizens who stand behind them, and the quiet, unshakable strength of a nation that refuses to be broken by acts of terror. From that day forward, El Adde was no longer just a place on a map in a distant country. It became a powerful symbol, a symbol of sacrifice, of unwavering duty, and of the heavy price that is often paid to secure peace. The stories of valor that emerged from the dust and smoke of that day would become a permanent part of Kenya's national identity, a testament to the spirit of its defenders. The men who stood their ground at El Adde did not fight in vain. Their extraordinary courage had a lasting impact, inspiring crucial reforms, renewed training protocols, and a stronger sense of unity within the Kenya Defense Forces. The lessons learned from that 10-hour battle were paid for in blood, but they helped forge a more prepared and more resilient military. Their memory continues to guide new generations of soldiers, serving as a constant reminder that true strength is not measured in numbers, but in the courage and conviction of the heart. Every year, on January 15th, their names are remembered in ceremonies across the country. Their story is told and retold, not as a tale of loss, but as a powerful lesson in endurance, faith, and the indomitable human spirit. Their legacy is one of honor, ensuring that their sacrifice will never be forgotten. In the sands of El Adde, silence has returned. The winds once again sweep across the quiet plains, but the echo of the courage shown on that day will never fade. For in every Kenyan who puts on the uniform and serves the cause of peace, their spirit still stands watch. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more stories of courage and history. Your support helps us continue to share these important legacies.